One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. Today on One Question is Denver Athletic Director Peg Bradley-Doppes. Peg, thank you for joining me. And we are chatting. Your men's hockey team is in Minneapolis. They've had a terrific season. We're headed towards the NCAA tournament. We were talking about the Frozen Four prior to starting the recording. You know, where I'd like to start this conversation is Denver as an entire athletic department is still relatively young in the D1 scheme of things, has only been a D1 athletic department since the late 90s. And you guys have had some significant success in sports like men's hockey. Volleyball was the NCAA tournament program this season, men's soccer, of course, as well as men's lacrosse. I am curious how you guys try to bottle up everything special about what those programs have done and relate the principles of advancement and success to other programs in your portfolio. Is that a common conversation? And if it is, how do those things relate to each other?
Matt, first of all, it's great to be with you. Second of all, there is no magic potion, but it is a question a lot of people have asked us. The University of Denver next year will be celebrating its 150th year of having athletics. And so although we've only been at the Division I level for the last 17 years, there has been a very proud legacy, over the last 150 years. That being said, the move to Division I was a bold move done by Chancellor Emeritus Dan Ritchie. And the idea of moving all of our programs to Division I was in an effort to increase the visibility, branding of the university, and we take our role very seriously. Athletics should enhance the academic mission of the University of Denver. We should add to the value-added branding of the university, and it should be something that enhances the university. So, things that are important to us here, we are very focused on the outcome of our day-to-day business operations. But when we're dealing with our student athletes, when we deal with our programs, we are focused on the process itself, that the outcome then will take care of itself if we do things the right way. So being aligned with the academic mission, our graduation success rate is 95%. Our goal is 100%. So, kids come here for a great Division I experience, but let's make no bones about it. They are student athletes first and foremost. I'm one of those athletic directors that still looks at every midterm grade of every single student athlete. So it's not it's not a surprise. It's something that we drive home very hard. Second thing, we're value driven. So we want to win the right way, doing it the right way, in compliance with the NCAA, university, and conference policies, rules, regulations. I don't like all the rules and regulations, but if they're there, we want to adhere to them. We try also to make it all hands on deck. We all bought in. So we are very unique in the fact that we are going now on 7 years of having 100% giving. And that means 100% of our student athletes give to the University of Denver. 100% of our athletic and recreation staff, so our coaches, our staff members, all give to the university. And so the commitment, and I don't care how much people give, but it's saying we believe in what we're doing. And it's made a marked difference as we solicit donors and partners and corporate sponsors to be part of our Pioneer Nation. And all of that, focusing on the process, because that's all people-centered, has made the success that we're having really a lot of fun, and it's changing our culture that I always thought was healthy to even a healthier, more competitive one. We have 17 sport programs. We average 10 conference titles a year. Because of our geographic location, we are always going to be part of 5 different athletic conferences. So our hockey is right now number 1 in the country in the NCHC. Our skiing is in the RISMA, RISMA. They were preseason throughout the season, number 1, 2, just finished third at the NCAA's last weekend. Men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse is in the Big East. Men's lacrosse is currently number 1 in the country. They've been to the national championship over the last several years, a few times. We've won our first NCAA title there. As you mentioned earlier, men's soccer, that's in the Summit League with our core sports. They were at the Soccer Cup this year. Gymnastics right now, women's gymnastics, 7th in the country. That's in the Big 12 conference. So that we are a great collection of sport programs led by really passionate coaches. And I don't micromanage. We hire great people. We hire people that share the same values, that bring great young men and women to this program, and we don't tolerate mediocrity. So that as we do a coaching search, I will ask our coaches, you know the business, who's great out there? Now, that's not our only list, but we do start everything with an internal discussion first and foremost. And that has helped us increase kind of the competitive culture. Certainly, there's a cadre of coaches here that get along, that share same competitive juices and values, and it makes it incredibly competitive for our student athletes. So we're a place where we're proud to say what our graduation rates are among each team. And we share that information, what our APR rates are, as well as, any other good news, not so good news, because we're all invested in the process.
Yeah, that focus on the process, maybe more so than the outcomes, reminds me a little bit of Brad Stevens, the former Butler men's basketball head coach, who's now leading the Celtics. Are there specific leadership traits in some of your most successful individual head coaches that you have said to them, hey, when we're in all staff meetings, I need you to really harp on this because everybody needs to hear it. Are there specific examples that come to mind for you on that front?
I think that we try and back up a little bit because we are focus driven. Anything to do with our student athletes, our staff, our people, it is process focused, truly processed. And so as we recruit, the most important thing I can do is bring exceptionally gifted, strong leaders to our department. And we have made some incredibly fun, unconventional hires. But it's been because we've invested a lot of time and energy making sure that, one, we hire people that want to strive for excellence. So most of my time is, how can I help you achieve that excellence? Not giving motivational talks, but rather, how can I help? So it may be helping with facilities or helping with any difficult issues. But our coaches here feel very empowered. They know that the success is broad-based because there is buy-in. The great thing about being at DU, it's a great work environment. It's a lot of fun, but we thrive on excellence. And so that the coaches do speak up at coaches' meetings. Every strategic plan that we've had, this is my 12th year. We're going on our third strategic plan. It's been done internally with our coaches and staff. We don't hire someone from the outside to come in and tell us what we should strive to be. It's so the coaches feel very much that this is their program, their university. We're respectful of all the other institutions, but we take great pride in not being jerseyed or intimidated by anyone. We know where we're located, what our menu of sports are. In some ways, we're very, very unique. But we're proud of that. And so, examples are coaching searches. I will have them meet with our coaches, and I will ask them, is this person going to make us stronger? Is this person going to make us better? because it is a very competitive environment. And so if you look across the board, if you're not one of the 15 programs that are first or second in their respective conferences, I would imagine those meetings can be a little bit difficult, but very, very healthy, because I think it makes us strive to be good. And so the empowerment is wonderful. A classic example, when we did the men's lacrosse search, we had 5 great candidates, had executed a very solid search, 5 signed MOUs, and got time to make the final offer. And Matt, there was a hesitation where I felt like perhaps I was settling. And I called the chancellor up and said, give me a half hour. I may have egg on my face, but I'm going to call Bill Tierney. And, as I sit at my desk right now, I'm looking over the beautiful Rocky Mountains that are covered with snow, and it's a great visible setting for us where there is no limits to how good we can be. Called Tierney up and said, I appreciate all your help with the search, and you could stay at Princeton, which is an incredible institution, and win a few more national championships, and that's wonderful. And what a great, great career. Or you could come to the University of Denver, and we could grow the sport of lacrosse, the sport that you love, you've dedicated your life to, and when you could win a national championship or 5 here. Why don't you come out and have a cup of coffee and just see how it looks and feels? Now, you have to park your ego completely when you're making those type of pitches.
Yeah.
But, I gave him the same cup of coffee that they gave me when I came out here. When our former men's soccer coach, Bobby Muse, went to Wake Forest as their coach, I immediately knew who I wanted, and it was Jamie Franklin, only because, again, the process, watching how this coach interacted with our athletes, watching that it was much more about the characteristics of the people that we were surrounding ourselves with, the culture we were establishing, not so much going after a conference title. And I can remember people saying, "Who are you hiring?" And I just said, just trust the process. When we made a coaching change a few years ago with men's hockey, and it was a very difficult change, but we again did a national search, had 4 or 5 individuals that had signed the MOU, ready to come to DU, and I went with the non-traditional hire. I hired Jim Montgomery out of the American Hockey League. I felt that he had his hands on everything, from marketing to promotions to recruiting, development, and now there is much more of a trend in hockey to go that route, which back 4 years ago people thought was absolutely crazy. And again, I said, just trust the process. Trust that the process was right. The outcomes will take care of themselves. And I think that has helped us. Another thing that we've done on the business side of operations, we're running an enterprise here, and I take our university support, our donor support very seriously, and I want them to trust that we're making the best business decisions we can make. And we've done a lot of cutting edge, completely thinking outside the box that has not only saved us money, but increased revenue streams so that we could do more with our programs. And then, as you can tell, I'm passionate about our coaches and our kids. So we love to raise money for our programs. So endowing our positions, endowing our sport programs is our ultimate goal here, because we think people will want to be a part of this type of program.
And that's today's one question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.